What's going on, everybody? I made a little side stop on my way home from Cincinnati. See my boy Cedric from Steel Cuts the Best out in Columbus, Ohio. And we're gonna test out the brand new Scag VRIDE 2 XL that Cedric's got on a demo with the 40 horse and the 61-inch deck. So let's get them off. Let's cut a little grass on this fine Saturday. Ugh, triggered. So for a baseline, I'm gonna run this Z3 real quick, up and down. I have a Z2, so it's gonna be just another Ferris that I really don't like, but be a good baseline test. We'll take a quick lap and then we'll try the Scag out. Cedric and I just kind of have the similar opinion on this Z3. I know, sorry, the camera's way up here. I'll bring it down. So the Z3 that I just rode, it sounds like what I would expect Patrick Starr as a motor to sound like. Like this 37 horse is just like, like that's how it sounds in my head. Like is mayonnaise an instrument? Like that's what the motor sounds like to me. It sounds like it's working harder than it should. It's a 72, so it's really heavy. And it has the same problem every other Ferris has. When the front casters of the mower decide that they're going downhill, you are not backing this machine up. You need to be a sumo wrestler to put enough traction on these rear wheels. You need to be in the 400, 550 club to get enough down pressure, because it just wants to go downhill. And that's my biggest complaint about my Ferris and on the Z2 platform. And I hate the deck system. I just absolutely hate the deck system. And I think the deck is like the cheapest. They spend all this money engineering this mower, and then they cheap out on these thin gauge steel decks. And then somehow the mower is still insanely heavy. So I don't know where all this weight's coming from, if they're hiding lead, like it's a derby car in it somewhere and they're trying to pick up a little speed on the track. But I'm not a fan. I like it, but I like it if I worked for a company and I showed up and they had these, I wouldn't be upset, but I would try to convince my boss to buy something else.
Yeah, you can definitely notice it on like the corners. It's super thin right now.
So mine
doesn't hit the baffle on the inside, but it definitely comes in.
Mine, the paint is wearing off on the arms.
Okay.
And just from me tying it down, not like rubbing against anything, just from and my Scag, I use steel binders on it, steel shackles on it to tie it down, and no paint wear. Wow. No paint wear. Yeah. So I don't know what, again, it could be the paint everybody's a little different, and maybe that's just where they end up saving some costs, and they spend a lot of money on the engineering technology, which is great, and the oil guard system and all that. But I don't know, I'm hard on my equipment. I need to be more rugged. But let's hop on the XL. We're all fired up. Let's take it for a ride. It's stiff. It feels like a Scag. Back down. Oh yeah. It's definitely a Scag. It held the hill very, very well, but it does not. The deck does not float as nice as the Z3, which again, but I'm not upset because I know it's built just a little bit better, just a little bit better. So it's not the end of the world. But this is a ton of power. This is, my opinion, this is too fast to put a brand new person on. Do you?
Oh, I 100% agree on that.
Yeah, this is too much mower for a new if you have less than 2 seasons, I think this might be too much, and you have hills.
Oh, it'll put you in a place that you can't get out of.
Yeah, you might. This is the kind of thing like you end up upside down in a ditch with a mower on top of you because it's too much and it's heavy. And I weigh 285, and this is a lot of mower for me to muscle around.
Listen, there was only one reason I told you can try this hill. That's because I know you've been running running Scag, running Ferris, like, and I've seen you work on some things.
Yeah, we do some super steep hills.
No, I wouldn't put anybody on that, you know.
Yeah, no, I mean, honestly though, I think cutting it this way might be easier because then you won't have to go, because obviously you don't want to blow too many clippings, but if you're going to go right up against the building, you have to make that little dip down there by that gate, and this way you wouldn't have to do that. It might be a little bit easier, but I mean, I might make one pass back here. We don't need to mow too many rocks. I only got one camera. I only got one camera. I'm gonna go jog. I'm too fat. I'm so fat. I'm so fat. In conclusion, which is some dumb crap that my social studies teacher told me I need to finish things off with, otherwise people don't know you're at the end. I think you're all smart enough to know we're at the end. We've mowed with both mowers. I like them both, but I'm gonna be honest. The Scag feels better built. It feels faster. It is a little bit more twitchy. I would not put a brand new person on this mower. I would put them on that little guy back there and then graduate them up to here before you throw them to the fire, because this thing is aggressive. Even though it's better on the slopes with the downhill pull of the front casters over the Ferris, the hydros are a little bit stiffer and they respond just a tiny bit faster and you can get into a little more trouble. But I mean, this thing's legit. I'm gonna ask Cedric the same question that I have on my mind that he's probably wanted to ask me. Where are you spending your money?
If I had a choice on a mower
between these two,
it honestly would have to be what type of properties am I doing? Am I doing the traditional, as they say, cookie cutter residential property? I may go with something a little bit smaller than this. I may would go with like a 52-inch or 61-inch Ferris. Or, definitely, I run Toro most of the time. That's where I would go. If you want to knock out a lot of grass and have durable equipment and you want to have things like maybe HOAs or big commercial properties, I don't know, man. Scag has the power to get it done. It has the durability, and I have no worries about me running into a situation myself that I'll get stuck in that I can't get myself out of at this point.
I would agree. I would say this Ferris is your large commercial, light let me rephrase that. This Ferris is your large residential, light commercial duty mower. This is your, I'm mowing an industrial complex with 6 acres of grass, and I need the extra fuel, I need the bigger tires, I need it to be beefier. I'm gonna be doing swales, drainage runoffs, I'm gonna be mowing over concrete chunks, which we just did. I think this is gonna hold up a little bit better in the long run. It's just beefier. It's you can feel it. You can feel everything in the mower just feels beefier. But this is something that would be a lot easier to be trained on, and I think is going to cut This is going to cut residential grass, I think, a little nicer with the floating deck, and is going to leave you a very similar finish to this. I think this deck cut quality's just got more vacuum and is going to help you with that. But I think at the end of the day, if I want to take my business in the more commercial direction or larger property acreage, which is kind of where I'm slowly going, I think I would buy the Scag. Because I think the price difference, tell us in the comments if you know, but I think the price difference is honestly probably between $1,000 to $800 between these two mowers, depending on the deck configuration and the motor option you go with. Because it's hard to say what's the cost of these because there's so many configurations now with all the different motors you can put on these two mowers and all the different deck sizes. And are you going to get wheels? Are you going to get duals? Like, you could be like, the Scag's more expensive by $4 grand. Yeah, but did you click every option and go absolutely crazy with it? Yeah, no, duh. But if you go very apples to apples on them, you get them very similar motors, you get them very similar deck sizes. I think you're only going to be a couple $100 off. Maybe there's some rebates and incentives. Fleet purchasing obviously is going to affect that. But no, thank you very much to Cedric for having me out today. It was a pleasure to stop by. This gave me a lot of buying power, you know, because when we go to equip, there's so many people in line, and you can't run the blades at equip.
There are no blades at equip.
There are no blades at equip. There should be no battery mowers at equip too. Start a fire. We didn't start the fire. That's the theme for D-Wall. But you get to actually mow with somebody else's mower that's out in the real world and is dirty and has been like going over things and the blades got beat up, and you get to cut slopes, like realistic slopes that you're going to cut, and we get to hop curbs and do things that we do every single day on these things. This is a much more realistic, in-depth buying power, and I recommend to anyone that has the ability to network, and that's why we go to these big events, to meet somebody in your area that maybe owns some different mowers than you and go out there and give something else a try. But again, big shout out to thank you to Cedric, his mower dealer, for letting him have the demo, whoever that is.
Buckeye Power Sales, Black Lake, Ohio.
Black Lake, Ohio, Buckeye Power Sales, shout out to you. And as always, like and subscribe. We'll see you on the next job site.